If your business is doing 1, 5, or maybe even 15 million in revenue, this story that I'm about to share with you might feel like it's happening in a completely different world. But it isn't. This is the exact blueprint that you need to see because it shows you how investor-minded business owners stop waiting for a better future and start building one that they control with greater probability. Now, here's the problem that most business owners are walking into. Honestly, they're walking into it without even realizing it. About 80% of businesses never sell. Most owners have 80 to 90% of their net worth trapped inside that unsellable business. And about half of owners get forced out, not because they chose to exit, but because life chose it for them. Death, disability, divorce, disagreement, or disruption. So do the math. If your net worth is trapped in the business and most businesses don't sell, you are sitting on a ticking time bomb. You just have no idea when it goes off. That is why we do the deals of the week, so that you, a real life, normal business owner, can start learning how to make your business attractive, buyable, sellable, how to create an outcome that you want, and how to stop hoping for an 8 or 9 figure exit and start to reverse engineer it and architect it. Because owner investors do things differently. And even if you're smaller, even if you're doing 2 million in revenue, you can still use these principles to create a completely different outcome of your future. Today's case study is Laird Superfood buying Navitas Organics. Laird agreed to buy Navitas for $38.5 million in cash. Now, when some of you hear $38.5 million, you immediately check out. That's too big. That's not me. My company's not even close to that size. That's triple my company size. That's 10 times my company size. I'm inviting you not to do that. Because what matters is not the number. What matters is that you learn from the case study and how you react to it. This is a great example of the difference between an owner-operator and an owner-investor. This specific deal is a peer-sized acquisition. Navitas did about 36 million in revenue in 2024. Laird did about 36 million in revenue in 2024. So this isn't a case of massive billion-dollar companies buying each other out. These are very successful companies, but they're peers. They're very close in size. Laird Superfood was founded in 2015. They sell functional foods and beverages. They're most known for their coffee creamers and their better-for-you add-ins. Navitas Organic, on the other hand, was founded in 2023. They sell superfoods, powders, seeds, berries, ingredients. These are things that most people usually put in smoothies or bowls and use for like baking. So what Laird did is they went out and they found a financing partner. That financing partner's name was Nexus. Nexus is bringing $50 million into this deal. 38.5 million of it is being used to buy Navitas, and the rest is there to help it get the platform connected, get everything synergized, making sure the marketing is dialed in with 2 different companies coming together, just making sure that everything is connected and that they're ready to rock so that they can keep growing, keep profiting, and keep expanding. Now, the next logical question is, why on earth would Nexus give 50 million to this deal? What do they get from it? They definitely didn't just give money away. This isn't a loan. So why is Nexus bringing 50 million? They're getting about a 5% preferred dividend, which is probably going to produce for them about $2.5 million a year. So for them, they're investing into Laird to buy Navitas, and they're getting cash flow from day one. And in all likelihood, they probably have upside on the back end when it comes to an exit or whatever happens in the future for a bigger outcome. The next question is, why would Laird give away $2.5 million of cash flow away to pull off this deal? And this is where you actually start to see the difference clearly between owner-operators and owner-investors. Owner-operators always want to do everything themselves. They're like, they say, I'd love to buy a business someday, but I have to save the capital for it. I have to put the money in the bank. And then someday, if I have enough money, then I'll go do a deal and buy another business. But that takes years, decades, 20, 30, potentially 40 years before that ever comes to fruition. And now that's fine if you want to wait that long, but you can accelerate that. And that's what Laird is doing. Laird didn't wait a decade, 15 years to accumulate $50 million in the bank and then go pull off this deal. They did it today. So what Laird did is they went to the capital market. And for those of you that don't know what the capital market is, it's exactly like it sounds. If you go to a grocery store, that's a market. There's apples, there's lemons, oranges, meat, and bread, etc. The capital market's the same thing. You can go to the capital market and find the type of money that best fits what you need it to. Loan, equity, the deal with Nexus, a combination of both, hard money loans, raising money. It's just a place where people can go raise capital. So Laird went to the capital market. They found Nexus, who was in their mind the best fit to pull off this deal, because they're not thinking like an owner operator. They're thinking like an owner investor. They're thinking, my business is my best asset. How do I protect it? How do I grow it more efficiently? How do I accelerate growth? How do I increase my valuation? And they decided that buying another business that was roughly the same size as them was the move that was going to make that happen. And Nexus was the financing partner to pull it off. Now, as a reminder, there are 3 reasons why investors buy businesses: more cash flow, a new market, or a new capability. With this Laird and Navitas Organics deal, you get cash flow as a part of it, but it's not the primarily, oh, that's the reason why they did it. It's not the obvious thing. This deal is there was more a new market and a new capability. Let me explain. Navitas already owns a place in the superfood category. They already have brand recognition. They already have distribution relationships. They already have customers who are already buying their products. Laird does not have that inside of the superfood category. That is not their niche. So instead of Laird saying, let's try to build that niche from scratch, let's build out a new arm and a new department, spend time and money and marketing, go talk to all the grocers, go talk to all the distribution relationships, spend all the time on something that might fail and might never become profitable, they instead took the owner investor out and said, let's go buy a profitable business that's already succeeding in that vertical. That's how they're thinking. And that is, they're getting into a new market without starting from scratch. They're also getting a new capability. They're getting vendor relationships. They're getting products. They're getting new ingredients. They're getting that superfood know-how. So for this deal, Laird buying Navitas Organics, this is a new market, new capability driven purchase. The other side effect of combining 2 companies together is you create opportunity to make more money, increase profitability. Now, of course, money is always going to be a driver behind deals. You don't do a deal if it doesn't make money. But the way to the money for this deal was the new market and the new capability. The other amazing thing that happens when you combine 2 companies like this, you're now bigger. Now, I know that's obvious, but now because you're bigger, now you get better meetings. You get better terms. You have more leverage for negotiation. You have more access. Is what you're saying is if we combine together, we can create a platform that can do more together than we could alone. More cash, better profitability, better valuation, because you did it together, combined, rather than trying to do it organically alone. Owner investors don't try and force outcomes, but they do try to create outcomes that have higher probabilities of coming to fruition. And this deal is a perfect example of it. Laird is going from, I own a product business, to I own an asset portfolio. Asset portfolios are far more attractive to purchase. They attract better capital. They get more options. Unfortunately, most owners are income focused. They build a business that feeds their lifestyle. They do not build a business that buyers actually want to buy. Owner investors are asset focused. They're focused on increasing the value of the asset and protecting the asset. And yes, as a result, you often get more income by being asset focused. It's a shift from income producer to asset producer. Now, I want to emphasize this to close. You do not need to be the size of Laird before you can start doing this. You need to learn the principles behind what they're doing. They chose to be an owner investor. They went to the capital markets. They found the capital that fit. They found a business that they could bolt on. They used that skill of being an owner investor to increase the safety of their business in the marketplace, to increase their profitability, to increase their valuation. That mindset, those skills can be done at 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 15 million, 15 billion. It's not just for the billionaires or the 8-figure revenue businesses. It's for the low to mid-market business owner just as much as it is for them. We've helped customers acquire businesses at that size, no problem, all the time. The issue is not the size of the company. The issue is the mindset, and then what the mindset requires the business owner to do in action. And then the mindset shift leads to actions that actually produce the outcome. Most people in the 1 to 15 million revenue range are thinking like owner operators, not owner investors. And in my estimation, that's why most businesses do not sell, because they were never built to sell. They were built to pay the owner. But if you want a different outcome, you have to start making different moves. And that's why we do the deals of the week. So you can start to learn the mindset and the skills and the shifts that are necessary to increase the probability that your outcome, your ambitions can actually be met. I'm Justin D. Maxwell. Thank you for watching.